it's really probably been the buzz stock in our group probably for the last since March. What's Watershed's view on buy now, pay later stocks? Do they see continued growth in the short, medium, long term, or do they see it sort of topping out at some point in the near future?
Look, we hold Afterpay in our mid-cap portfolio, and we have held that since it was below $2. So it's been a ripper for us. It's a sector that is continuing to grow, and we think it will continue to grow globally. One of the huge endorsements of Afterpay is that a lot of the big global competitors are now actually joining forces with Afterpay. So it's had, the banks and the credit card companies and, the traditional payment sector trying to compete with it, and they're now actually joining forces with it, which to me, is a huge vote of confidence in their strategy. Now, their rollout in the US was more successful than we expected, and now they're rolling out in Europe, and again, it's beating all expectations. So they are becoming a true global kind of payments player. So we really like the space, but again, with all of these tech stocks, you do still need to be a bit mindful of valuation. We chopped our holding in half when it went through 50, and sure enough, a couple of months later, it was $90. So, there's a lot priced into the value of this sector at the moment. Short term, we're a bit cautious valuation-wise, but, we think Afterpay's executed really well. And you need to have belief that they can continue to execute globally to kind of justify the value of the business now, but certainly they've ticked all the boxes so far.
There's been a lot of media about new entrants in the market and some of the more traditional players coming to the market. So we have PayPal offering a buy now, pay later offering, the banks looking at rolling out interest-free credit cards. Do you think any of these other sort of services being flooded into the market will have an impact on some of the...
They've all tried over the last while, and they've not been able to gain traction. And one of the real advantages for someone like Afterpay and the buy now, pay later sector is that they have such a strong relationship with the retailers. So they're shooting huge numbers of referrals back to the retailers. So they're almost creating a bit of a retailing ecosystem as well as a payment system. So it's very hard for the banks and some of those traditional incumbent utilities to aggressively attack the space, I think. To me, it's a little bit like the early days of Seek and REA.com, and we had Monster. So in the early days of employment online, you had 3 or 4 groups that were competing aggressively, and it was a real land grab. But you ended up with one dominant player, and then it's incredibly difficult for others to compete once they've got that market foothold. You saw it with the employment space. You've seen it with the real estate.coms, the online advertising space, and I think now. The deals that Afterpay has done with the big global majors is testament to the fact that I think they're starting to win that global land grab. So I think it's going to be pretty hard for the banks and for those traditional payment systems to compete. But I always do bring it back to price. So there's a lot built into the price of all of those at the moment.
You see Afterpay jumping up from $10 to nearly $100. Things are going a bit crazy. All I can say is let's hope the rockets keep flying.